most supportive caregiver I know, who has raised $27,000 for the UVA hospital, for the UVA cancer research. Please help me welcome Catherine McCormick.
Love you, Kat.
Hello.
I used to live in a world where my biggest problems were petty arguments with boyfriends, making good grades, staying on top of the latest fashion trends, and all other things that did not last longer than 5 days. Almost 3 years ago to the day, I was hanging out in Stubbs, complaining about life's smallest problems, until I got the call that actually changed my life for forever. My 23-year-old brother, Will, had collapsed from a seizure while playing soccer. We didn't have any answers, but doctors from multiple institutions feared the worst: cancer. For those of you who don't know Will, he was the average Hampton City Tiger up the road who was more than displeased when I enrolled in his college town. Often, I found myself sneaking to Sydney to avoid my protective brother. By the way, I was quite successful. But Will's simple persona was always beaming with personality. He used to light up the room with laughter through his relentless jokes, which were mostly about me. But one thing is for certain. When I was born, my heart already belonged to 3 boys. My older brothers who protected me as if I was their world, especially Will, who through all the jokes, loved me through all the times, even when I arrived at Sydney. Since I was finishing my sophomore year of college, my parents sheltered me from the truth of Will's situation. But just before his first brain surgery, I learned that he had glioblastoma multiforme, a rare, deadly form of brain cancer that carries a prognosis of 6 months. There is no cure, and our time left with him was precious. Watching my brother fight for his life was unbearable. I felt helpless knowing his condition was out of my control. But one thing I learned from my professional life as a teacher is the difference between being proactive and reactive. Reactive is a state where one takes no initiative. The events set the agenda as you are tossed and turned on the tides of life. However, proactivity is grace under stress. It's not just that you anticipate the waves, but that you learn to dance in the tide. In my proactive state, I wondered how I could stop time at just 20 years old. My first goal was to show my brother the capacity of our love. I discovered Custom Ink's company, Booster, and designed a t-shirt for our immediate family. It was supposed to be an intimate way for our family to represent our fearless fighter. Well, at least that's what I had thought. When I signed online, I saw that the first 45 shirts were sold to my sisters in Kappa Delta. The next 20 were to Will's brothers in Kappa Sigma. In 2 weeks, we made over 300 sales, generating a profit of $3,000. We immediately sent the money to the University of Virginia's Emily Curritt Clinical Cancer Center, where Will's doctors were conducting trials to prevent the growth of GBM tumors. The next year, Cure Will became a permanent foundation at the university, and he was becoming stronger every day. Since the summer of 2013, we have run 6 campaigns, printed 1,161 shirts, and raised $17,668 from Booster and Hampton Sydney donations alone. Coincided with monetary donations made directly to the foundation, Cure Will has built a basis of almost $27,000 for brain cancer research. However, his final campaign was a testament to his fight, as it exceeded the other 5 campaigns and produced a profit of $5,698. Shortly after Will underwent his first craniotomy, where they excised almost the entire tumor, he powered through many rounds of radiation and chemotherapy at UVA before moving to Florida to attend Full Sail University and fulfill his dream of becoming a professional game designer. He had beaten his initial prognosis. 2 years later, in 2015, a second tumor appeared in a new area of Will's brain. With his determination, he returned home for another craniotomy to excise the tumor. After Will endured another round of radiation and chemotherapy, he returned to Florida as a full-time student while simultaneously being treated for brain cancer. He gave a whole new meaning to the words strength and fearless. This December, I was finishing my finals for grad school when my parents arrived at my doorstep in Farmville. That day will never leave my memory. Will had been fighting for his life for an entire week and had begged our parents not to tell me until I finished school. He had been experiencing weakness in his legs, and they discovered the cells were in the center of his brain. The cancer had spread down his spine. Will left school and returned to the University of Virginia. He underwent gamma knife radiosurgery to zap the area in his brain, and after 10 days of intense radiation therapy on his spine, he regained some function in his legs and was able to come home. The next few weeks were hard. Will battled shingles, a respiratory infection, and was put on a feeding tube and pure oxygen mask. Yet, through the almost 3 years of treatment and hard battles, not a single tear ever fell from his face. On February 22nd, Will peacefully left this world. For days, I've been struggling with the fact that I've lost a third of my heart until a friend made me realize that my heart is still full. It is still filled with my brothers, and most importantly, Will. People ask me how I'm doing it, how I'm possibly making it through my final semester of grad school, and I tell them one thing: hope. Hope that one day we will find the cure to keep our loved ones alive. I hope that someone else will be told they have 6 months left and they will receive a beautiful 3 years. Me, of all people, used to be skeptical of where my money went when I donated to a cause. But I'm telling you right now that the research and funding gave me precious time to say goodbye to my best friend. If it weren't for the medical advances funded by people like you, then I would have never gotten this gift or opportunity to change someone else's life. There is hope for everyone out there. A diagnosis doesn't have to be the end, because what we have all come to learn is that where there's a will, there is a way. Woo!